drama, jump a healing, get your feelings out of funk. See the closure in my message, lessons I'm enough. I'm conceited, but it's needed to conceal up my own bluff. What's up, y'all? Today, I'm going to show y'all how I personally mix and master all my songs. First, let's hydrate. Shout out Cymatics. I will be using their Voxity plugin. And let me show you how cool it can sound. Let's get right into the video. Peace! Alright, so let's get right into the mixing and mastering. This video will focus primarily on mixing vocals. But if you all would like to see a full breakdown of how I mix and master my beats, let me know in the comments. And I will make another video in general showcasing the entire process. Let's get back into the video. We're working with the trap beat. A soulful trap beat is what we'll call this one. It's going to be called Trauma off my new album, Acceptance, which comes out May 12th. Journey to the 5 stages of grief with me, arriving at acceptance. Now let's actually get into this. Alright, y'all. First thing we're going to start off with, auto-tune. I personally like for sung and rap vocals. Now my vocal is not very polished. Like when I'm singing, I don't sing perfectly. So I like about 45 to 50 milliseconds of note transition and just keep it on 15 milliseconds. This is Waves real-time stereo, by the way. Waves real-time stereo. Leave correction on 100. Don't do no fancy stuff. I put it on tenor just because I have a medium to high vocal. I mean, I guess I have a medium low vocal, but I don't know. It just sounds better with tenor. Put that tenor on. Just take my word for it. You heard the demo. Now our next plugin is going to be Voxity by Cymatics. Shout out Cymatics. This is one of the most time efficient and powerful plugins I've seen in quite some time. It has a compressor, a de-esser, a gate, EQ, chorus, you name it, reverb. It has it all gain in one plugin. It sounds good. I could go through the default set. I'm not going to use my own preset. I want y'all to see how everything works. So you can use the preset. So first, let's use the compressor. Let's do this one by one. Table for the dinner on the date with the one you want to meet. You want to aim for -6 dB when you're compressing. B, premature grave really wake, wishing that could be a black beat, believe I wanted it to be. The input is how much you want the signal going in. So we want our input to sound clean before we mess around with the output. Compression 75%, it just sounds good. At least for this vocal, at least for this fast vocal I'm doing. I know it's contradictory because it says slow, but it works well. Now that we have the compressor, let's go to enhancer. Let's go to our de-esser, our denoise, which is a little gate. And let's go to the air. Seems to forgot to the top, had a lot on my plate with my grandpa. Actually, he would adopt the name. My father's and my mother, she would. Let's go to 33. Still cooking. I'm still like that. You know, I'm still like that. Let's do the denoiser. Do believe it or not, this generation 55 sounds amazing. I ain't talking steak in the... Let's keep it there. Always put this to pre-comp, by the way. 9 times out of 10, it will make your vocal just sound much better. You want the effect of the de-esser, the gate, and the EQ, which is the de-esser, the denoise, air. You want all of that before everything gets processed and comped on your vocal. Just trust me. Now watch. Seemed to forgot to the top, had a lot on my plate with my grandpa. He would adopt the name. My father's and my mother, she would work 2 jobs, trying to provide different things. She cooked for 3 tots, color greens, mashed potatoes, pork and beans, and pork chops, butter beans, margarine. Do believe it or not, this generational beef. I ain't talking steak on the table for the dinner on the date with the one you want to meet. It's already sounding better. This thing is so cool. Use it, y'all. Use it. Now let's move on to the EQ section. Table for the dinner on the date with the one you want to meet. Personally for me, the highs, I always like to adjust near the 10,000 hertz range, or 10 kilohertz, about right here. And this is what I'm going to go. I'm going to turn this all the way up. I'm going to turn the Q band, which is that thing down here. This is the Q band. I'm going to turn that all the way up. I'm going to test the... different things you cook for 3 tots, color greens, mashed potatoes, pork and beans, and pork chops, butter beans, margarine. Do believe it or not, anger my hatred, agitation out on the dead beat. Anger my hatred, agitation out on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake, wishing that could be a black beat, believe I wanted it to be. 5 different things you cook for 3 tots, color greens, mashed potatoes, pork and beans, and pork. On my mids, my voice gets kind of nasally around... Let's find out. Let's play around with it for a little bit. Out on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake, wishing that could be a black beat, believe I wanted it to be. Seemed to forgot to the top, had a lot on my plate with my grandpa. He would adopt the name. With my grandpa, he would adopt the name. My father's and my mother. So my voice is kind of nasally around the 3,700 hertz range, or 3.7 kilohertz. So that's where I'll dip off. Play around with your own voice, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can dip this knob, it's so user-friendly. Play around with it until you get a sound that you like. This is important. Y'all, for the lows, I have a mid-range male vocal. For mid-range male vocal, and I'm gonna do pre real quick, I want this completely cut off. I like to cut my vocal off at 90 to 100 hertz because that's just grumble, mud, and you can save that space for your 808, your kick, etc. You cannot audibly hear that in your voice, and all it will do is drown out the rest of your frequencies. So if you're a male, try to aim for cutting it out around 80 to 100. If you're a female, try to cut it out around 90 to 120. You start with the high pass filter, which for some reason what cutting out the low is called. You want to cut off all frequencies until you start hearing a noticeable difference in your voice. Once you hear your voice start changing, that's a sign you overdid it. Let's get it going.
Seemed to forgot to the top, had a lot on my plate with my grandpa. He would adopt the name.
Say I want this to be an ad lib.
On the dead beat. Premature grave for the wake.
So cool. Well, we're gonna go with the, now let's go with the multiply.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat.
I don't need this per se.
For the wake, wishing I could be a black beat, believe I wanted her to be.
I don't want to offset this.
My hatred agitation, premature grave for the wake, wishing I could be a black beat, believe I wanted her to be. Premature grave for the wake, wishing I could be a black beat.
I don't want to offset that too much, but I do think it can dampen your vocals a little bit. So let's say you don't have multiple takes and you need to make it sound like more of a body. Now let's go to reverb.
Seem to forget.
This is reverb and delay. So this is our pre-delay up here. Our time. Reverb is just how close or back your vocal is going to sit in the mix. It sounds echoey. It sounds further back. Let's do about 20%.
Seemed to forgot to the top, had a lot on my plate with my grandpa. He would adopt the name. My father's my mother. She would work 2 jobs trying to provide different things she could for 3 tots.
I might turn this off for now. I just want to show you what it can do. I will be adding my own reverb and delay here soon. My fault. Brain blast. Let's see. Let's bypass it real quick and see what it sounds like without it.
This generational beef, I ain't talking steak on the table for the.
With it.
This generational beef, I ain't talking steak on the table for the dinner on the date with the one you want to meet.
Tell me that doesn't sound clean. Tell me that doesn't sound clean as. That could be a final vocal, by the way. But I'm gonna give you all the sauce. So I can go one step further and set yourself apart from everyone else. And Voxity is a very simple, user-friendly, and efficient tool for getting your mix to sound professional. So please, please don't forget, pick it up. We go to audio effects, alphabetical order, put a gate on this bad boy, bad girl. Threshold. Now the threshold is gonna show, I don't want anything below this blue line, this threshold, to be heard or to come through. And the return, always put to 0. Don't even worry about that. My threshold is -12, so you're probably not gonna hear anything or choppy vocals at best. You hear how choppy that is? There we go, y'all. So -40 threshold sounds good on this vocal. It shows you how important making sure it fits your vocal and how important it is to tweak around. Make sure it works. What we're gonna do, we're going to affect the attack a little bit. This is a quicker rap. So the attack, we can have, let's say, let's play around with it.
This generational beef, I ain't talking steak on the table for the dinner on the date.
Attack shows how quickly the threshold is going to activate. So when a sound goes above that threshold, attack is how many milliseconds it's going to take to catch that peak. As you heard, if the attack is too high, then every single syllable is going to get brought down. That's why it's important to play around with the attack until it's a good volume that you want to hear. The hold is going to dictate how long it's going to hold that syllable before letting go of it. And then the release, also how long it's going to keep up that hold and attack and then let go. So I know it sounds kind of confusing, but watch. If I have a low release, it's probably not going to do much.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat.
See,
premature grave for the wake, wishing I could be a black beat, believe.
It's releasing my vocal too quick and picking it back up too quickly. 20 milliseconds, still a pretty quick release. So we can probably mess with this a little bit more. Our vocal's starting to get there. It's starting to sound good. This is my very, very first ever mixing tutorial. So if you like it, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video around with some people you know who need mixing and mastering. It's not an insult. Just send this video or comment someone who you think this could help. I'm going to provide timestamps for each individual audio effect and plugin used in this video. This way also, if you ever want to come back to the video, you know exactly where you need to come to and what audio effect to go to. So without further ado, let's get back in the video. All right, now y'all, we're going to put our compressor on here. which I like to use Rvox stereo for my compressor as a built-in gate and a built-in compressor. Now, if you don't know what a compressor does, I'm going to use a secondary compressor, and that one I will show you more what the technical side to it. For now, let's try to use Rvox. We're going to usually set to about -6. Remember how we were aiming for about -6 dB in the Voxity section? Well, -6 is just a good, solid baseline to try to reach. All right, now that we use Rvox, let's use our compressor. If you don't have Rvox, this is what you want to pay attention to. Now, with our compressor, I'm going to show you all 2 views that are very important to look at. So, ratio of 4. A ratio of 4 is just generally good for your vocal. You can adjust that if you like, but I say just keep it at 4 until we mess with this parallel compression down here that I already set up for us. Your ratio is for every 4 decibels of audio, 1 will pass through. Or I might have that backwards. Fact check me. But to my knowledge, ratio is for every 4 decibels of audio, 1 decibel will get through. When we start messing with our threshold, you see this blue line? Do you remember our threshold with the gate? Nothing under that line get through. Now our compressor works slightly different. Our compressor is saying anything above this line needs to get brought down to this blue line. I'll show you the nuance of that real quick.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat.
You want to find the quietest part of your vocal that is audible. You don't want to hear the whoa, don't clip that, y'all. The quietest audible part of your vocal, which I would say for me
my
is
hatred
here,
agitation now on the dead beat. Premature grave from the wake, wishing that could be a black beat, believe I wanted let it be.
And to fact check it, you can go to the second view.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat. Premature grave from the wake, wishing that could be a
click the bottom number. You want -20. I don't like that circle to an envelope, however you want to say it. I don't want it to engulf this marker. I want it right
my hatred agitation now
below it. I want it right below it because this is my average volume for the vocal. And what we're doing is we're bringing all my vocals to a consistent volume. The main purpose of the compressor is to give you a consistent volume in your vocal, or a consistent dynamic of your vocal. The next step we're going to do here,
on the dead
output, we're going to turn it as far up as we can without turning red. And I should say without the bar turning red above this line right here.
Premature grave from the wake, wishing that could be a black beat, believe I wanted let it be.
Perfect. Now we want to adjust the attack and the release. The way the attack works on a compressor and the way the release works is very similar to the gate. The attack is how fast the compressor is going to work to improve your dynamics. Now for a quick rap vocal, again remember, 5 milliseconds is still pretty quick in the grand scheme of it all, but we're going to go maybe with about 3. You can fine tune it from there. 3.5 sounds pretty good. And the release, if you're not confident in your ability to hear the release where you want the release to go, don't feel bad for setting it to auto. Watch this.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat. Premature grave from the wake, wishing that could be a...
Say you don't want to set it to auto though. You want a precise sound. The release is going to determine how long is that compressor going to work before releasing your vocal. It's going to take a longer time to release, therefore a longer time to then attack again. It all is all synergetic. A good cheat code I like to use, this doesn't work 100% of the time. I generally think if you have a slow attack, because you need a slow attack, you probably need a slow release. If you have a long attack or a high attack, you probably want a high release. It doesn't always work out that way, but again, set this to auto if you're not sure. Just have the attack to a part where you can hear your syllables the way you want them to sound. On to the next audio effect. And you might be thinking, Mark, Quez, do we compress or do we EQ first? I'm going to tell you, in my personal opinion, the way I've seen things done, I think compressing first always works better than EQing first. Because if you don't compress your vocal, you might just have some sounds and noises in there that are going to affect your EQing because it's not comped yet. And the vocal isn't as polished as it could be. and it's not as consistent as it could be. So you're gonna have a lot of inconsistencies in your vocal, and it's gonna be very hard to EQ properly. So I think you should always compress before EQing. We understand the compressor now. Let's get into the EQ. Boom. We're gonna use an EQ8. Ableton stock EQ8. Wonderful. Full screen this thing so I can see exactly what's happening. I'm gonna put it all the way up here. This way, we just get a better idea what's going on. Look down below, right here. You can see where we're at in the hertz scale. I'm at 100 hertz, and it goes all the way to kilohertz. Spectrum goes from 0 to 22 kilohertz, or 22,000 hertz. Now, I'm gonna show you some quick tricks real quick. My little sister just messaged me. We're also gonna put a low pass shelf on. A low pass filter. All right, so quick little cheat sheet. You can generally roll off everything before 15 kilohertz, and you can generally roll off everything below 90 hertz. Let's listen to this.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat. Premature grave.
That's just my personal preference. I think when you cut off that, you give the instruments a room to breathe. You give your voice a nice place to sit in the mix. That's just me. Let's keep playing it.
The wake wishing that could be a black beat.
So our goal here is to listen and boost the frequencies, which we can do in these frequency knobs. Start with the 400 range. We're going to boost this all the way up. We're going to set the Q band all the way, let's say to 15, so we can hear our problematic frequencies. The main point is to narrow in on the frequencies that we don't want. So what we're doing right now,
my hatred agitation now on the dead beat.
You hear how nasty that sounds. You hear how just annoying that sounds. We're going to take that out. So we're going to tune that. I say,
my hatred agitation now on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake wishing that could be a black beat.
Now you don't gotta cut it by anything drastic. I cut it by -4 at first, so you could hear how drastically it can shift the part of your vocal. We remove part of that mud, but it's still in the other parts of our vocal, so it sounds a little disoriented right now. Music works in symmetrical mathematics. So because our 400 range is messed up, as our 800 range is messed up. Let's go to 800. Boost this. Q band 18. Let's listen.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake wishing that could be a black beat.
I also want to work on this 400 again. All right, so 440 sounds perfect on our low end, y'all. And again, since the music works in mathematical symmetry, if 440 is a problematic area, 880 is probably also a problematic area. Let's turn that up.
The tie had a lot on my plate with my grandpa. He would adopt like the name my father's.
Clockwork, y'all. Like clockwork. Let's do my low end by 2.5 decibels. I think when you're EQing, you don't need to cut out too much. Again, if you have a good sounding recording and you work on your recording and how you're talking into your mic, am I a good distance from my microphone? Did I make sure the gain on my audio interface is not too high? That kind of thing, gain staging. As long as you go into your recording sounding legible, you shouldn't need to EQ too crazy, okay? But we're still going to add some EQs to this. We're still going to not do anything too crazy to our vocal again. We're just trying to cut those problematic areas.
This generational beef.
That 880 area actually sounds pretty harsh. So I cut it by 4 dB. Again, your microphone, your voice is going to determine how far you want to cut. So make sure you use your ears. That's very important. Now, if 880 is a problematic range and 440 was a problematic range, what do we think is the next problematic range? Probably 1760, right? 880 times 2. If I did my math wrong, y'all let me know in the comments. I could be I might not be like that. Raise this. 18. Play it.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat. Premature.
Let's see, we're gonna cut this down. I'm playing this really quick because I don't want you to hear all of the noise that comes out of that for your sake. Next one, 1760 times 2. What, 3520? Doubling up, down.
My hatred agitation now on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake.
And you see how bright and nasal that is. So between 2 and 4K is usually your nasal range. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't want my music to sound nasally. So I'm going to turn that down probably a good 4 dB. Usually it could range. You don't always need it to be that far down. I don't like that nasal sound. Let's go with 8.
Got my hatred agitation out on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake, wishing I could be a black beat. I believe I wanted let it be.
So remember before the EQ, it sounded like this.
Seemed to forgot to the top, had a lot on my plate with my grandpa, he would adopt.
After.
Got my hatred agitation out on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake, wishing I could be a black beat.
At 10,000 kilohertz, or 10 kilohertz, my fault. And we're going to set the Q band to 18. And we are going to shift it up until it doesn't sound good anymore.
My plate with my grandpa, he would adopt the name. My father, so my mother, she would work 2 jobs trying to provide different.
So what this is doing is it's boosting every frequency to the right of our marker. So we're gonna put this back down. I'm gonna put it back up and put it like this. Actually, I like it being this big. Next, we want. Let's see what the vocals sound like.
Got my hatred agitation out on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake.
We're gonna put a split band de-esser on here. This is in the multiband dynamics. You go to split band de-esser. You can use a normal de-esser, but I think this one works really well. For the split band de-esser, we're going to sidechain it to our exact track we have it on, which is vocals. And we have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Next. A trick I learned from a really good Ableton producer, Ethan Davis. If you're watching this, shout out to you. You helped me get my vocal mix down, so appreciate that. We're going to go to Spectrum. That's what the Spectrum's going to do. We're going to full screen that. Yeah, it's peaking the hardest right here. Let's look at the bottom left. That says 8.59 kilohertz. Let's just say 8.55. Let's take Spectrum off real quick. That means my S's are probably peaking the hardest at 8.55, 8,550 hertz. Perfect. What we're going to do now is we're going to take this off and the headphones off.
Got my hatred agitation out on the dead beat. Premature grave really wake, wishing I could be a black beat.
And here it's more consistent. It's not just they, me, the, me. It's you know, more consistent. That's what we want. That's what we want. Our next effect is gonna be what we call a saturator. Now, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all
my hatred agitation out on the dead.
You want your vocal to sound clean every single time?
Got my hatred agitation out.
Switch from analog click.
Got my hatred agitation.
Wave shaper. 71% dry and wet.
Got my hatred agitation.
-2 drive. I don't know what it is. It makes my vocal sound clean.
Got my hatred agitation.
Now I'm gonna show you how to make your vocal sound good. Now you made it sound clean. Now we gotta make it sound good. What I did is I went ahead and I just right click down here during your reverb return tracks. I have insert return tracks. I have 3 of them that I'm actually using. I copy and pasted the default one, my own vocal. You can click Control C, Control V. Now I put a compressor on the reverb. What it does is this. We're going to turn the reverb up to 100%.
Date with the one you want to meet. Fucking clean slate.
We're going to sidechain it to, this is all encompassed in vocals. So we're going to sidechain it to vocals. So we're going to come here to reverb channel B, which is the second one right here. It goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, etc. It will just keep going from left to right, left to right, left to right. So our B, if you want to pull it from this view, we'll show you as well.
This generational beef. I ain't talking steak on the table for the dinner on the date with the one you want to meet. Fucking clean slate. I'm going to take my.
We're going to click reverb. We're going to hold shift and click compressor. Control C or Command C if you're on Mac. We're going to go to our delay. Pretend like this wasn't here. And we would just come here and we would control paste. And then we would also set the dry wet about 40%. The reason we're doing this is so our delay sounds really cool. Here we go. Our last effect that we're going to do to the vocal, just the vocal. Our last effect is going to be a parallel compression. Let's put another default compressor on here. Let me just take this off real quick. We're going to put a default compressor. We're going to all it to 20. And again, we're going to put the compressor to vocals. Want to listen?
This generational beef. I ain't talking steak on the table for the dinner on the date with the one you want to meet.
Where it sounds best,
slate, I'ma take.
And if that helped your vocal, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone who might need help with their vocals. And if we did it right, y'all, it should sound really good in the song. So let's try it out.